Hey everybody, welcome back to the Commonwealth. It's your girl, the Outcast Angel, and today let's talk about issue 184 of The Walking Dead, Eugene Tinkers. Now, the title's a bit misleading because really what I thought would be a lot more of Eugene tinkering was actually a lot more of, well, obviously, um, the situation at the Commonwealth being brought under control. And so we see that in the first few pages when we start off by seeing the chaos that this riot is causing, and just as Governor Milton and Officer Mercer, Rick, Dwight, and everyone show up and see all the violence. Rick asks, "What can we do?" And Mercer says, "We've never had to deal with anything like this before. Just follow my lead." And they all rush toward the scene. And then we drop to this other scene where, after saving Michonne and Elodie, Jerome is getting the shit beaten out of him. And so Elodie is the first to turn back and say, "We need to help him." And so Michonne runs back to help and pulls some of the rioters off of Jerome, but that's when the rioters themselves turn on Michonne and start beating her. And so Jerome sees this, and what a guy, dude. He's already been beaten up pretty badly, and he jumps on top of Michonne to block her from the brunt of this attack. And so just it doesn't help too much, but it helps enough up to the point where Mercer throws his axe at one of these protesters well, baseball bats, and kicks him off of Michonne. And so while Dwight jumps in to help, but then we hear gunfire from all of the officers, and we see that the riot has been brought under control, and Mercer is now in charge. And so Mercer yells at the well, I guess you can call them protesters, saying, "This riot stops now." And one of the protesters, the one he kicked off of Michonne, says, "Your men killed Anthony Keith." And Mercer looks him dead in the eye and says, "And you attacked an innocent woman. We'll get to the bottom of this. Hurting others solves nothing. Stand down, or I bury my axe in your skull." Now, obviously, that was enough to make him stand down, but, like, geez, you know? Anyway, Governor Milton addresses the crowd saying, "You elected me to govern. I'm back now. Please allow me to do that. We'll sort out what happened and get things back to normal. That's my promise. Now go home." I'm a little surprised by how easily she let them off the hook, because I mean, holy shit, dude! Like, they just trashed your city, you know. And now we see a very bruised up Michonne standing in a nice suit in a courtroom, saying, kind of presenting her case in court, saying that this was all a clear misunderstanding that escalated out of control, saying how this was a personal matter between two men that escalated into a physical altercation. Then others became involved. Men came to the aid of their friend who was badly injured. These men, also guards, should have known better, but got carried away and crossed the line. Now these same men, a man died in a terrible, horrible accident, and the men responsible now lay in our infirmary clinging to life themselves after sustaining severe injuries during the riots. I myself was injured during trying to stop one of these attacks. And she goes on to say how, though she's only spent a short amount of time in the Commonwealth, she understands the what makes this place so special, about how this community is built on trust and order. Um, and goes on to say, like, we all remember the dark times when violence erupted at a moment's notice. Um, but we know how important this place is. It's too important to risk losing this community, this sanctuary, over a dark incident that's already been litigated. That's an interesting word. In the streets of the community, they can't already figured it out themselves, and so um, she proposes that um, they just drop the charges in order to move on, because obviously this is a very complicated case, and obviously in the real world that would be unheard of. But considering the fact that everyone was involved, you can't really punish a whole city. Um, you know, this is the best thing moving forward, really. And so the judge um, he considers this, and he says, "Well said, counselor. I will consider your remarks as I make my decision on whether or not this will go to trial." And I like the little moment of pride in Michonne's face when um, the other attorney tries to say, "If Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to speak again," and the judge shuts him down by saying, "That's not how this works. Court is adjourned." She just looks so proud here. Anyway, now we see this moment between Rick and Michonne, in which Rick is pretty impressed um, by Michonne's, I guess, display of, well, hope, honestly, because he asks her, "Did you really believe all that, or were you just trying to keep the peace?" And so she's like, I agree with most of it, for the most part." And she continues to say, "This place, having Elodie back, you haven't spent enough time here to see it, to feel it. It almost feels like we're back to the way things were before. Some bad, sure, but a whole lot of good. And I'd sell my soul to keep that good. I'm afraid I already have." And Rick seems a little, I guess, worried by that comment of hers, But then we don't really get to dwell on it much, because we finally see Eugene looking at this train cart, or this this these railroad tracks with all these train cars on them, and he's saying he looks pretty hopeful, thinking that this could work, and he explains to honestly, I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. Does it say her name at all? Stephanie, that's her name. It didn't say her name, but I remembered. He's pretty hopeful that they can get this train system working, because obviously between the distance between the Commonwealth and Alexandria, the other communities, this could really work. And with the amount of people that's at the Commonwealth, they can get it done. It'll take a while, but if they can get it done, and honestly, I think that would be a beautiful, I guess, well, feat between the communities. He even says that it'll bring us together in unity and in, well, distance, really. And so we leave them to drop in on Pamela and Lance, and Lance is pretty impressed by Michonne's actions, really, and Pamela is too, but she's not too impressed with how Lance let it get this far in the ways of what happened between Anthony Keith and the officers, and the riots in the streets, obviously. So Lance is kind of has his tail between his legs, but as Pamela's saying, it's I trust you to keep the peace, and people are happy here. It's really not that hard to keep them happy. And then as she's looking out the window, she kind of freaks, and then she runs out, and we see Rick and the others helping the people of the community clean up the streets, and we see Pamela kind of storming toward him, not looking too happy for some reason. And the confrontation here, she says, "What are you doing?" And Rick's like, "I'm helping." And she's like, "Don't you? I can see that, but don't you have better things to do?" Obviously not. He makes a stupid joke saying, "I figured lending a hand is the least I could do." Literally, well, literally. Um, and he's like, "Do you have something better to do?" And that's when she says, "I guess not. Give me that bag." And she starts helping. Even Mercer's a little he smiles like I don't know. He just has this smug look on his face, like, huh. And then as she starts helping, her brat dick of a son comes in saying, "Mom, what the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "Helping, and watch your language." And he's like, "Don't we have people for that?" And Pamela continues to say, "Yes, and those people need our help. My help. Your help. So start helping." And Sebastian, the little prick, just says, "Fuck that. I didn't do this. I didn't cause this." So he walks off. And this surprises the hell out of Dwight. And Dwight and I forgot her name already. Um, I almost had it. It was right there. Well, Dwight and his girlfriend start saying, there are definitely some colorful characters here. But then they look up and there's this balcony of people having very fancy dinner, I would say. And, you know, Dwight kind of dislikes that. He says, we get to put on a show for them while we clean up their mess. It's disgusting. And then his girlfriend says, "Well, maybe we should clean it up after we get done cleaning it up." And Dwight seems to like that idea very much. I really can't remember her name, can I? Oh, what is it? Yeah, I can't remember. I really can't remember. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, we see a very interesting scene here, which I'm only gonna show a certain amount of it, but we see Princess or Juanita and Officer Mercer having a very intimate moment. And Princess is so awkward. I feel like she's literally me on the page, because I like when I get awkward, I do not shut up. Like my mouth just starts running. I start saying I don't make sense. It's just I can't get myself to like chill, you know? And so after their little intimate moment, she's like, so what do you think? Is this a casual thing? I'm totally okay with that. I don't need it to be a serious thing. Casual is fine. I'm good with casual. So casual then? That's what I figured. And Mercer says the cutest thing, saying, "I really like listening to you talk." And they look so cute. I love it. I ship it. Anyway, um, um, so Princess is like, "Okay, so more a casual thing. I dig that. I prefer that." But then Mercer pulls her in, saying, "Definitely not a casual thing. Not really my style." And they kiss, and I'm so happy. Oh, an Officer Mercer action figure would be amazing. Imagine that suit on that figure. Ooh, please, Skybound, if you're listening, if you if you actually watch my videos, please make an Officer Mercer action figure like within the year. That would be amazing. Well, maybe not within the year, but maybe within the next 6 months of the next year or something. I don't know. Oh, maybe San Diego Comic Con's coming up after that too. At least I think. Anyway, but yeah, it's just the cutest thing. And then after that, we see Rick walking back to his apartment, I guess, wherever he's staying, and he walks into these two Commonwealth citizens, and they're like, thanks for helping out in the streets. You're out here every day." And Rick says, "Where I'm from, everyone does their part." And that's when the citizens say, "Any you got space for two more? We might be interested in moving." And Rick says, "Well, this place or Alexandria leaves much to be desired when compared to this place. Trust me." But then he says something interesting. The guy says, "I don't know. Don't let surface details fool you." And this seems to bug Rick a little bit. But as he comes into his apartment, we see Dwight sitting in the shadows and just very creepily saying, Rick. He scared the shit out of Rick for the most part. And that's when Dwight proposes something, and Rick's like, this can't be good, what do you want? And Dwight says, you must see what I see. I know you do. These people live underfoot. There's a boot on their necks, and they all know it. I like this place. I see the potential in this place. What they've got here is remarkable, but they're not corrupted like the Saviors were. These people are optimistic. I think we can do some good here. And so basically he asks, I couldn't leave the Saviors, but I can lead here if you let me. We can save these people, Rick. We have to. But Rick shuts him down by saying, Dwight, please, just no. And Dwight says, the fuck do you mean, no? And we see his scarred eyes start tearing up a bit. Like, I love that detail for some reason. Just the fact that his eyelid may have been burned off enough to where he can't blink anymore, and the fact that we don't see him using his eye drops like we did in do I even have it up here? Oh, it's over here. Something to Fear. It's just an interesting detail to me, and that's the end of this issue. And things are getting really ramped up, guys, and I'm so excited to be able to see it. And so with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked it, and if you did, drop a like, show the love, hit that subscribe button to get more of my videos, ring the bell to get notifications on when I post new videos, so that way you guys stay updated and don't miss out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.